Hello, brothers and sisters. It's Bishop Callahan here. I hope this message finds you all healthy and safe and well. I have some fantastic news to share with you all. We have determined that we're going to be able to start attending church again very soon. It's going to be a little different than we had planned originally, but we have a solid plan for what we're going to do. We're going to begin going to church again on September 27th. So that's 2 weeks from now, 2 Sundays from now. That's the Sunday before General Conference. So we won't be meeting at our own building, but we'll be meeting at the Stake Center. And we'll be meeting in the little grassy area that's outside of the Cultural Hall, in between the Cultural Hall and the Stake offices. The Scout House is right there, so in that little grassy area there. I'll include a picture with this message. We have temporarily decided to divide the ward into 2 groups, just to keep the number of people that will be attending at the same time down. As long as we're able to accomplish good things with the smaller groups and we feel comfortable with adding to the smaller groups, we'll combine the 2 groups at some point, hopefully not too far from now, and we'll meet all together again at the same time. But to start with, we're going to be in 2 groups. One group will meet on Sundays at 10:30 in the morning, and the other group will meet at 12 p.m. So I will let you all know which group you fall into so that there's really no confusion. We don't have too many people at the building at any one given time. At the same time as that we're meeting, with that first meeting, the 10:30 meeting, we also will be broadcasting that meeting live via Zoom and probably Facebook Live through the Centinela Ward Facebook page, Centinela First Ward Facebook page. So if you're not comfortable attending in person, or if you have health reasons that prevent you from meeting in person, you're encouraged, and not just more than welcome to, but you're encouraged to watch the meetings from home on the various forms of media that we broadcast it with. The meetings will be short, and they will kind of be as follows. We'll start the meeting with announcements, and we'll have some at the first one for sure, because we have some callings that we'd like to have people sustained with and things of that nature. So we'll be busy that first Sunday for sure. So we'll have our announcements, and the announcements will be followed by an opening hymn, possibly. I'm not sure. We're not sure yet if we're able to sing outside. I know if we were meeting in the building, we wouldn't be able to sing the hymns right now. But I believe that since we're meeting outside, it's a possibility. So I will look into that and let you all know. But assuming we can sing, we would have an opening hymn, we'd have an opening prayer, and then we would have 1 or 2 talks. After the 2 talks, or 1 or 2 talks, we would have a closing hymn if we're allowed to. And at that point, we would have a closing prayer and end the broadcasted part of the meeting. And once we turn off the broadcast, then those of us that are physically at the Stake Center will have the ordinance of the sacrament. So we'll take the sacrament there live, but that won't be broadcast. Now, those of you that stay home and are watching the broadcast remotely, you'll still be able to have the sacrament in your homes the way that we have been for the last 6 months. As far as having, if you have priesthood holders in a home that can take care of it themselves, you can do it that way. Otherwise, our elders quorum will continue to organize people coming to your homes to bless the sacrament. And so the meetings will be short, but they will be consistent. So we plan to have them every week, unless either there's general conference or another meeting that prohibits it. Or if the weather is not agreeable. If it's pouring down rain, we're not going to meet outside and have sacrament meeting, obviously. Things of that nature. Now, that area that where we're planning to have the meetings has quite a bit of shade that's provided by the trees in the area, as well as some overhang from the different buildings that are around there. So we should have plenty of shade in that area while we're meeting. After the meeting is over, we will dismiss, and we'll go home, and we'll be prepared. Start preparing for the meeting that follows that. If it's the 10:30 meeting, we'll be preparing for the 12 o'clock meeting, and if it's the 12 o'clock meeting, once we're done, then we'll be asking a few people to stay and help to wipe down all of the chairs with the wipes that we have, and to help put the chairs away. So there are a number of safety precautions that we've put in place to keep us all safe and to keep us from getting sick and that kind of thing. And so they are that, first of all, you have to wear a mask. We all have to wear a mask at all times. The only time that the only time that we don't wear a mask is if we're the person that's speaking from the front and addressing the congregation. At that point, the person that's doing that will be far enough away from anybody in front of him, that him or her, that there won't be any chance of transmission of cooties that way, or germs that way. But aside from being that person that's speaking, you have to have a mask on at all times. And I know that's a touchy subject for some people, and some people really don't want to do that. And I understand. I totally understand those feelings. And if that's how you feel, I welcome you to watch the broadcast from home and watch it remotely and participate that way. Because if you're at the service, you have to wear a mask, or we'll have to ask you to leave, and nobody wants that. So we've purchased 2 of the infrared thermometers that we plan to use. So as you're walking up to the area where we're going to be sitting, we're going to scan you with the thermometer to make sure that you don't have a fever. If you do, we'll ask you to go on back home and watch the service that way. But hopefully no one will be sick and no one will have a fever, so we won't have to do that. But we will be taking the temperatures of everybody as they walk in, including ourselves. So make sure you're there a little bit early before the meeting, so you can get your temperature taken before the meeting. You have time to sit down and be comfortable when the meeting starts, because we'll want to start the meetings right on time, so that the people that are watching remotely aren't waiting around trying to figure out what's going on. We have 2 hand sanitizer stands that will be at the 2 different kind of entry and exit points of that area. We will have ushers that will be assisting people to find seating properly. There's going to be a lot of chairs set up, so there will be plenty of space for you all to be able to make sure that you're only sitting in groups that are from the same household. So we're going to ask that if you're from a different household than the person that's next to you, that you keep 4 empty seats between you and the person that's next to you on either side. So not to make you feel separate, but just to make you have the social distancing that we need to have. The seats that we set out will be set apart far enough away from one another, front to back, that the social distancing is accommodated that way, and also so that the sacrament can be passed all the way up and down those rows by the priesthood holders that have the trays in their hands. The trays are never going to leave the hands of the priesthood holders that have them. The priesthood holders will use hand sanitizer before they prepare the sacrament, and including those that will be passing the sacrament will also use hand sanitizer before they take the trays. There's going to be when they break the bread, they're going to break the bread and put the little pieces of bread into empty water cups that'll be in the water trays and separated by a couple of cup holes away from the next one. So there's really no chance of bumping into each other's cups when you take the bread out and eat it. And then we're going to have a separate tray. So the priesthood holder will have 2 trays. One will be with the bread in it, and the other will be for you to throw your empty cup away. And we'll do the same thing with the water cups. They'll be separated in the trays, and you'll have a separate tray to throw the empty cup into, so there's no possibility of transmission that way. The priesthood holders will sanitize their hands when they're done with that and take the sacrament themselves. After that, we will end the meeting, and we'll ask that everybody goes on back to their car in an orderly fashion, that we don't bump into each other and hold up the lines and that kind of thing. And we just stay safe. And I know it's going to be hard because we all love each other and we all want hug each other and shake each other's hands and hang out and talk and be close and all that stuff, but we have to follow the rules so that we can continue to do this, because if anybody gets sick and it looks like it may have happened at church, we'll have to stop, and I don't think anybody wants that. So we've also been asked that when we park at the stake center, since the stake center parking is really big, we've been asked to leave at least one empty space in between each car, so that when we go back to get in our cars, or when we're getting out of our cars, that we're not bumping into each other and banging into each other. So make sure that you don't park right next to another vehicle. Leave some space in between you and the car next to you. The seats that we're going to be sitting in will already be set up, because Westchester First Ward will be meeting before us, and they will when they're done with their service, they're going to wipe the chairs down completely so they're super clean. And before we have our first service, we are going to wipe them all down again anyway. So they will have been wiped down twice before we sit in them the first time, and then we'll wipe them down after our first service so that it's ready for the next group of us to come in and sit in them at that point. And we'll wipe it down again after we're done with that. So we've put a lot of thought into this. We've taken a lot of time and had a lot of talking with each other about it, and I feel confident that we will be able to do this in a manner that's safe, that we're in a way that we'll be able to feel the Spirit in a group again. And I've been longing for this moment for a long time. I'm very grateful for it. I'm grateful that President Osler and his counselors have decided that we're able to do this, and that Elder Gent and all of our leaders are asking us to do these meetings and to have sacrament meeting again. It's going to be an exciting thing, and I'm happy about it, and I hope that you all are too, and I hope you're all as excited about it as I am. I love you all. I miss you all. And I'm going to ask, if you have questions about this, I'm going to send out a list of all these things I've talked about. I'll send it out also so you can read it that way. But if you have questions, please send them to me, and I can make another one of these videos and send it out later that addresses those questions in case people have the same questions. Okay, so you can email or text the questions to me, and you can expect me to respond with another message in a few days. Okay, be well, be safe, and I look forward to us all getting together starting on the 27th. Okay, love you guys. Bye-bye.